Welcome back to the Chosen Life podcast. Back again, host Jonathan A. Cohen, author, Bible 3.0. Make sure you're checking it out. Indigo, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, ebook, physical book, audiobook. And with me today, back again for another week. She's read it. She's loving the Bible 3.0. We've really bonded over it. And we got to talk about our real life last week. And Cathy Himelfarb is back on the Chosen Life. Cathy, welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
So today we get to talk about one of my favorite topics on the planet, and that is family. The importance of family. We were alluding to it last week, and as you were telling the story, it's funny, I was thinking back, when I was a little boy, and my dad, when he was alive, would take me around with his job, and my big brother would take me for his job, and we got to bond, they take me on a weekend, take me on a day here and there. And how many of us, having children, I hear the story all the time. My child moves away to another city, another country. We Skype, we Zoom all the time. I don't know if Skype's a thing anymore, but they message each other. We get to see each other once, twice a year for holidays. Cathy, I am so jealous because you get to see family practically every day. You're not just family with them, you work with them.
I do. Like, we're really the epitome of a family business. And, it's the conversation around every dinner table is real estate. There's no getting away from it. And even if you try to change the subject, it always comes back there because it's infiltrated every part of our lives, which is great because we love it. To me, it's a dream. So my mother is the founder of Forest Hill Real Estate, and she founded it as a kitchen table, basically, in response to a domineering man in 1985 who was actually very difficult and wasn't fair to the real estate agents in his firm. And the women agents really felt it. And so my mother said to two agents in her office, she goes, let's just start our own little brokerage. We'll do it at my kitchen table, and we'll just do our own thing. We're all good realtors. We all know how to sell. We don't need a man to tell us what to do. And these two women came with her. They made a commitment. We'll leave this brokerage. And it was a big brokerage. It was the top brokerage at the time. Okay, they said, we will leave. We agree. And so she opened up her office, and over the last almost 40 years, it's now, she has 1,200 agents, 35 branches, and what turned out to be like a little, let's just do it on our own kind of thing. And maybe it's because of that, I don't know, like why it grew as much as it did, that she's been like very wonderfully successful with it.
And it's funny you say as a tree branches, because each office is a branch, right?
Yes.
Essentially, it's a tree, the Forest Hill tree, and with the branches. And within your family, it's become a real estate family, and from Ronni to Cathy, and now we have Rich and Rebecca, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I get the emails all the time. They have exciting new listings throughout Ontario and Muskoka and Yorkville, and met them many times. You have beautiful, lovely children. Well, not children, they're adults, obviously. They're your children. Listen, you're going to be 120 and they're going to be 90, 100. They're still your children no matter what. But how lucky, how much, pride do you have every day, almost every day, getting to see your children and work side by side with them?
Honestly, I'm not just saying this. It is like a dream come true. It is a dream come true. I mean, we've had little growing pains along the way where we don't see eye to eye on things. But I think their mutual respect is there and the commitment to the long term. So we have mastered most of the difficult things, thank goodness. And when I walk in the office and I see either of them or they call me, I speak to my son 8 times a day, my daughter 12 times a day. And you know what? It's everything from does your baby still have a cold? And then it right away morphs into real estate. And so how many offers do you have registered tonight? Or what do you think about our idea for X, Y, and Z for the office? Or wasn't that a great party we held last week, and for the office? Or did you hear what happened to that agent? I can't believe it. We've got to go to bat for them. So it's all there in one conversation. And I even say to them, I've turned to them recently and I've said, I just want you to know that when we look back on these years, and one day we will look back on them because I'm going to retire or something, life changes. And we're going to look back at them as the best years of our life. That's how amazing they are.
And it's amazing when a person's able to be close to family and be able to relate like that. It's amazing how every other aspect of life is so good. I can tell you, I call my mom every single day. I have it on my reminder, so I can't check it off unless we talk. My mom lives one street away from me one way, and my brother lives the street away the other way. And my mom's like, I'm living the Jewish mother's dream. She thinks she's living the dream. You're living the dream because
Yes.
you get to see them and work with them.
Yes.
So funny enough, I don't think we've ever talked about this, but do you know why I'm a real estate lawyer?
No.
You ready for this?
Yes.
So I lost my dad at a very, very young age. But I always remember at the dinner table, he would look at me with a thick Israeli accent. One day, you're going to be the real estate lawyer. He was a real estate lawyer. So he was a real estate lawyer in Israel, comes and immigrates to Canada. And my brother's English was not great, coming here at 17 for him.
Right.
I was born here. And so I just was born knowing I'm going to be a real estate lawyer. So it was very, very easy. And all we ever talked about at the dinner table was real estate. And I just naturally grew into it. When Rich, Rebecca were growing up, again, adolescents growing up, did they always tell you from day one, we're going to be realtors, we're going to be work with your mom? Or what?
Rich, he did.
Yeah?
He always told me that. And I used to try and steer him away from it. I said, go be a real estate lawyer. I'm not kidding. I said, why do you want to be a real estate agent? It's so hard and there's so many ups and downs and, you don't need to do it. It's like, it's a very difficult profession. Mm-hmm. And he applied to law school and he went after second, very early. And
Right.
I said, he was not engaged at all in it. And he said, I just want you to let you know, I think he got an acceptance from one school. He said, I'm not going to go. I'm not going. I don't want to be a lawyer.
Yeah. My partner, David Corman, always says, friends don't let friends become lawyers. Because we tell people the exact same thing. It's a lot of aggravation. You have to muck in a lot of stuff. And people only calling you with problems all the time. And it just feels like some days you work so hard and just you can never make anybody happy but that's why I became a real estate lawyer. I didn't go to become a litigation lawyer.
Yes.
I didn't go to criminal law. I want to close deals. I love working with first-time buyers. I love helping people transition to next stage in life, right? Same way as you.
Yes.
And the deal gets closed. People pop their champagne. They're so happy. It's great to be part of those experiences. And you hope that 999 out of 1,000, it's all positive,
Yes.
right? So we all want to muck in positivity, I guess. But from a family standpoint, I'm sure you all lean on each other very strongly, good, bad. You know that you have 3 people, 4 people in your family that you all can bounce ideas off of. That's such a great luxury to have.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's worked out really, really well. And they love it. And Rebecca loves it too. She started off really as our office administrator and helped me open up that office and set up all my systems and everything. I actually couldn't have done it without her because she's super organized and I'm not. And it was only over the years that she said, you know what, I think I could be a realtor too. I see what they're doing and I kind of like that. And she's a very high energy, ADHD, crazy, needs to get.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like if you're high energy and you don't want to sit at a desk all day, this is the perfect profession for you because you're never doing the same thing twice. You're never meeting the same person twice. Every day is different. Every challenge is different. So she really gravitated towards that, and she's done really well also. And now they're working together a lot, which is also kind of fun for me to see. As a parent, you want to see your kids getting along and being successful.
Well, I got to tell you, Rich all the time is sending me emails. I get to see all the latest listings. He's really on top of that. Rebecca on social media, tell us more about Rebecca Recruits, because I see all the time. I see the word, when I think Rebecca Himelfarb,
Yes.
I think recruiting immediately.
I know.
Yeah.
You would think that by calling yourself on Instagram Rebecca Recruits is so in your face, but she became known in the industry. She was also on the Real Estate Council of Ontario, so that helped. But she really became known for Rebecca Recruits, and because of her, we were actually able to recruit a lot of agents to the company, to our office, and everyone knows her name. So when they're thinking of making a move, at least before they leave their brokerages, they give us a call and they come in and they see what we're about. And she's very, devoted to that process. And, we really have worked hard, I have to tell you, more than anything, to create an atmosphere that is very congenial and sort of everyone's got the same energy and vibe. And a lot of people say that, very positive things when they walk in our office. They say, this feels like home. I want to be here. If there's anything negative, a toxic element, they're out the door. I don't care if they're making $1 million a year or doesn't matter. Like, it's not about money. Because if if you just put a little bit of oil in the water, you're not drinking water anymore.
Agreed. And spending time with you, spending time with Rebecca, it's amazing how similar you are, yet so different you both are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People say we sound exactly alike.
Yeah, but different personalities. Certainly, she's branched one way, you branch one way. So it's funny how you've absorbed so much, so similar, but yet you're your own people at the end of the day. And Rebecca with Rebecca Recruits, and seeing how I've seen her at trade shows and other places. She's a people person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, she's coming to that segment, and she's doing really well with it. And I've had people mention to me they've seen her on social media, so it works.
Yeah, I think it's working. It's working really well, and she loves it. She really, really likes it, and she loves the business. So, and they're lucky because they're young. They're like I said to her today, you're half my age. So if I tell you something, you have to listen to me. Because she was telling me about a deal last night, and I said, "Oh, that sounds amazing. Next time you might want to say this." And she says, it worked out so well. Like, why are you giving me advice? I said, just because I've done it one way and I've done it another way, and I just want to make it easier for you. Like, so.
And it seems, it's funny how quickly time goes, right? It's like they were babies yesterday.
Yes.
And then they start bringing babies of their own. And how is it different, in a real estate from being a parent to a grandparent and thinking the next generation of realtors is coming?
I know, when we start to make jokes about that too with them, about the kids, but you never know. I mean, there's lots of 3 generations of realtors. I mean, even in our family, my mother, me, my kids, there's 3 generations. Maybe we're going up to 4. I don't know.
If I was a betting man and going to Vegas, I would say you're going to have at least one more for the 4th generation. It's got to happen. It's just got to happen because Forest Hill is family, and being around it and being around everybody in the family, essentially, that's in real estate, chances are somebody's going to want to absorb into it more than likely. If I'm a betting man, at least.
Well, that's a nice thought. I hope that's true.
Yeah.
So far, they're little kids. They're little babies, so who knows?
Just imagine, picture
We're
this.
happy if they say a word.
Just imagine that world that one day you'll be clocking into the office and you're going to say hi to your grandchild who's going to be grand adult at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Cathy, it's a luxury of riches when being able to be around family that much.
That's for sure.
So, from people's perspective, when you have that case, because there's a lot of people that I've met that their parents or grandparents were in the industry, whether it's a lawyer, a realtor, accountant, whatever it is. It's funny because sometimes they want to instantly gravitate to it, and otherwise they're like, I don't want to do what my parent does simply because I want to be different. Yes. What advice do you give that person that says, should I follow in the footsteps or should I do my own thing?
Well, definitely the path of least resistance is going into a family business, right? Especially if it's something you really want to do. Not if you're forced into it or it's your only option, or you feel that it's some expectation from another generation that you have to do it. Then it's not going to work. But if it's something you truly want to do, then yes, it's going to work out really well. And I think you're going to, really, really succeed if it's something that you feel in your heart of hearts that you want to do. That's what you sort of have to gauge. Like my son, Rich, when he told me over and over again, I do not want to be a lawyer. I do not. What are you going to do? I'm going to sell real estate. Oh my gosh. But like, he really took to it like a fish to water. Like, he right away, he was so responsive. Like, there's certain things you have to do in terms of servicing your clients. And one of them is to be highly responsive and listen. And not only listen, respond properly. Like, he's great in that he doesn't just send out new listings to clients every day. He reads through the listings. He analyzes them. He calls them and says, this is the one you need to pay attention to. Where a lot of agents will just throw, there's 15 new listings that are a possibility today, and the client has to weed through them. So he really takes his job very, very seriously. He makes a point of saying he's a professional.
Yeah.
So, and I think that when you think of yourself in any capacity as a professional, then you're going to perform differently than if, you know what, I'm just doing this because I have nothing else to do, or to bide the time, or this is what's expected of me.
And I'm thinking in my head right now, because in the Forest Hill family, I just gave a seminar recently at Forest Hill Witchwood.
Yes.
And Samuel was there with his son.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And father-son. And they always come almost identically dressed. They have the same moose knuckles jacket. They'll have the same polo shirt. Today they had the exact same polo striped shirt, wearing brown shoes and blue pants. and they're always together. And I think of how many times I've seen, and there's and Marlon Green and his son, and up in Aurora we have the Sturgiuses, and husband and wife.
So many people like that.
And sometimes whenever I see a family and they're different offices or different brokerages, I always say, why don't they work together? People say, oh, I live together, maybe we shouldn't work together. But if a relationship is strong, the ones that are working together in their family, they're going to produce more together than they will apart. And it's so nice to see when family comes together like that, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's wonderful. Like, and I actually call my kids now for advice. Like, they call me for advice, but I call them too all the time. I say, should I say this, or should I write this to this person? Or they really frustrated me and I feel like I have to vent to someone, but I don't want to vent to them, obviously, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And they're great. They're really helpful that way. So, yeah, and I think it's also like for me with real estate, because like I say, it's different than every other profession in that you have to be true to yourself. And so when people get into the business, a lot of guys at the beginning wear suits and ties and, and change their hair and do something different because they think, oh, well, now I'm working. I go, well, would you ever wear a suit and tie? Ever? Even when you're going out for a nice dinner, do you wear a suit and tie? I'm like, no, I wear khaki pants when I get dressed up and a white shirt and, and I like to always wear running shoes. And I go, what are you wearing dress shoes for? And like, that's not you. And, there's like my grandmother used to say, a lid for every pot. There's a client out there for you who's going to gravitate towards you because you're you, not because you're pretending to be what you think a real estate agent has to be. So just dress the way you feel, act the way you feel, and if you're a person who goes to the gym at the end of every day, and at 4:00 you put on your Lululemons or whatever, and then you're called out to a showing, go with your Lululemons. You're allowed to be a complete person. Like, a lot of new agents come in and they'll say to me, like, I'm a jazz singer, I'm a Pilates instructor, I'm this is where I'm coming from. And they said, well, we went to interview at X, Y, and Z real estate, and they told us that we can't talk about our other professions. So are you kidding? Like, those things are beautiful things. They're what makes you you. Talk about it. When you advertise a listing, put it in the context of a Pilates class that you gave. You love to travel, show travel photos from time to time. Show real estate around the world. You can really combine whatever it is that makes you special with this industry and still come out ahead.
Cathy, I love it. I love it. Unfortunately, we're out of time today, but it's funny because you read my mind each time and you're already segueing to next week because we're going to be talking about motivation, mindfulness, and self-improvement. And today we talked about family, and, I want to hear more about this. And for those listening in today and loving Cathy's stories, again, we got exciting news. It's sneak preview because Cathy's going to be coming with her own podcast, Our Real Life, going to be out very, very soon. And Cathy, for people that hear your stories, heard the name, want to meet you, want to ask questions, mentoring, how do they connect with you? What's the best way to reach you?
They're welcome to email me at Catherine@foresthill.com, CATHERINE @foresthill. 1 R, 2 L's, .com. And I'd love to hear from you. That would be very exciting.
You're always so engaging. And every time I've been to the office, you're always mentoring somebody. Somebody's always popping into your office with a question. You're always so engaging. And, people around you are much better off because you're in their world. So thank you for making the world such a better place. And next week we'll be back on The Chosen Life, where we're going to help people find their chosen life. Stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.